We spoke about the type of data collected and the sources of data for an EdTech in the previous video. In this video, a very short one, we'll talk about the common mistakes that an EdTech company does and the best practices that they should follow to bring themselves closer to the privacy norms of the privacy regulation norms, though they're nothing specific with respect to EdTech as such are available worldwide. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you daily see new content on data privacy. And as I said, let's talk about the common mistakes and best practices that an EdTech should do with respect to compliance with respect to privacy. The common mistakes that they should not do, common mistakes include that they believe that learning agreement is as good as privacy consent. No, it is not. We saw this even in the healthcare. A treatment agreement is not the same as a privacy consent. Similarly, they have agreed that they'll study the course, they've agreed that they'll appear for exams, there will be scores, but that does not mean that they have given you the right to play around with their personal data, even to share their scores with anyone without their consent. So take a privacy consent separately, graduate one, don't collect too much of data. I know it is always very promising to say, who are your friends? Very promising to have your family details because then tomorrow maybe your younger sibling will come and enroll with my institute. Hold on, let this guy complete the course. If you are satisfying me as a customer, the younger sibling will come automatically. For his performance monitoring, you don't need the details of his family or his neighbors or his friends. Lack of proper student profiling. It's more of just enrolling for the sake of course, which is bad from business point of view, as well as because you don't know the real target of why you are enrolling someone, you might end up taking data that is not required and get into a breach kind of a situation. AI's usage is not yet transparent. A lot of work is happening around all industries, same as the case with EdTech. And I've seen a lot of EdTech organizations that don't even have mature IT. But they do have a common file server where there will be files. They do have a repository where they keep the personal information, including Aadhaar and banking information of the students, right? They have to ensure that there is proper authentication channel to get into that system. Any student should not get an option to see anyone's data. Any parent logging in for parental consent should not get an option to see any other student's data. That should be mapped. There is no well-defined data protection policy. And why I'm saying this is, my daughter studies in a school and whenever I have to pay the fee on the portal, I have to enter the student enrollment number. And it happened with me a couple of times where I entered the wrong student enrollment number. Instead of popping up and telling me that you have entered a wrong student number, it gave me the details of the student whose registration number I entered. So I know the name of the father and the address and registered as the primary contact because that phone number gets all the other WhatsApp and other updates from the school. And I know how much of fees is still pending. And I've not tried that, but actually you can figure out the student enrollment serial numbers and maybe gather the entire information regarding the students in the entire school. So then that means their software portal is faulty somewhere. As the best practice, use clear privacy consent forms and take proper parental consent also. Don't mix up privacy consent with learning agreements, right? They are two different things. Collect only what is required, right? I gave you an example of an app. It's a school with around 80 branches across the country. Right? So the app is still not mature enough. So it could be a potential threat to them. Deploy data protection policies, encrypt the data, very, very important. Have mature IT, have mature people to handle, and get role-based access and encryption applied so the data is not shared across. AI or key systems, if any, should be clearly explained to the students and to the parents and parental consent. Parental consent with proper validation that you are taking it from the correct parent of the student is very, very important, especially when it comes to the Indian DPDP Act 2000. So that's about some of the common mistakes and best practices along with one very small example, personal experience example. I hope you like the content of my video. Just missing out on one point, you've taken parental consent, you have authenticated the correct parent. You should monitor the progress and review with parents from time to time, which is more of an educational practice. But yes, then you get feedback from the parents and then you are sure that you are talking or getting the feedback from the correct parents. Validation of the parental consent can be done by one of this slightly longer method. So subscribe to my channel, share your feedback in the comment section, and press the bell and the like icon. Thank you.